So it's just keeping that laser focus and work with good intentions. Every decision you make, you should always end it with, with this decision, did I make it with good intentions? And that's the secret recipe, I guess. I
Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Gym Owners Growth Zone podcast, the show designed to help gym owners improve and grow their businesses. I'm your host, Andres Escobar, and I'm so grateful to have you join us today. Today we have Jayne Sukalowsky. She is the owner of multiple clubs in Upper Michigan. She has created a membership service program that makes cancellations easier today, and Jayne will share some of her best practices that can help other businesses reduce their attrition, which is also called churn. And she is passionate about fitness and has a mission to inspire skeptics to live healthier lives. And Jayne, by the way, is also a customer of Review Biz and has seen some great success. If this is your first time listening to our show, please consider subscribing to the podcast and share this episode with someone whom you think will enjoy it. As we dive into this episode, listen to how Jayne's experience as a gym owner underscores the importance of adaptability in the fitness industry, along with her insights into building and thriving community by embracing challenges and fostering personal and professional growth. Hey everybody, it's Andres again. Welcome to the Gym Owners Growth Zone podcast. And today I have the honor of having Jayne Sukalowsky, and we're so happy to have you here, Jayne. Jayne comes from us from the Anytime Fitness Location franchise, and she just comes out and she is so authentic, and she is ready to share her story, and I think it's going to impact you guys. So Jayne, tell us a little bit about where you are right now and how you got to own the gyms that you have.
Thank you, Andreas. I'm honored. Honestly, you've had a lot of great guests on the show. It's motivating, and thank you for the opportunity. So, gosh, I've been with Anytime Fitness. Started as a member almost 14 years ago, and you know, as everyone, fell in love with the brand, fell in love with the layout, the equipment, just the design of what the franchise had offered, and started working as a club manager. The owner at the time, he was a multi-club owner. He made it up to 17 locations, and I had the good fortune of becoming a regional and overseeing and helping, make a lot of that happen. So just being taught by good, solid leaders. I've had the good fortune. With that, my husband and I purchased four of, he was starting to sell his locations, and we negotiated and we came to an agreement with, we purchased four. So Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, Marquette, Escanaba, and Iron Molten. Four beautiful communities that we're honored, and just it's been a privilege to be a part of this, and just implementing a fitness lifestyle for folks in these communities. So here I am today.
That's awesome. So do you and your husband both own them together, or is he part of the business as well?
He absolutely is. It was one of those investments. He's worked for a casino. He's the director of surveillance. He'll be celebrating 30 years in November. So it was one of those decisions. He still works full time at the primary job that, we were very fortunate, investments, retirement, things like that gave us the opportunity to invest. Okay. So he's still technically, doing that, 40 plus hours a week, helps significantly with our business growth. But I have to say we have been blessed with an amazing staff. So
Yeah.
we have a regional director who started, he was 18 years old. He
Wow.
started as a trainer, club manager, 4 years of business college. He graduated from LSSU. And we can't say enough things about Travis Green, our regional director.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one layer, and then of course, we have our Marquette team. Tim, remember, I worked with the company. So when we took the clubs over, many of the staff still stayed with us. So
Mm.
Tim Martin, he's our club director for our Marquette location. Great young man. Who's just done a fantastic job. We're bringing, Tate has been with us now for over a year, graduate of NMU. They have an exercise science program there. So, a nice university right in the backyard.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, you know what's interesting? Like these people that you have on the team, how did you find
uh,
them? Like that, I'm telling you, like this is a problem a lot of gym owners have. And if you're listening, like in any business, finding the right people to sit in the right
yeah,
place to do the job that's really gonna help them and their career.
yeah.
I think it's tell us a little bit about that because I'm just
I
intrigued.
think it's a great topic, and always room for improvement. I'm certainly, that I lead to the best of my ability, and I lead by my actions as well. I'm in the trenches with the team. Today I'm in a club. I'm at the Escanaba location, and
Okay.
they know. We're making our phone calls. We're doing our lead gens. We're doing everything as we're asking them to do. So it
Right.
has to start with the expectations, and then of course leading by example. And appreciation goes a long way. It goes a long way. And we communicate with our team. We initiated when we bought the clubs in 2020. I'm a big supporter of KP Softworks. Other owners may not have had the same experience I have had, but what's nice about KP Softworks is they communicate with your team weekly. It's a 30-minute call. And I get it. Owners can say, well, I talk to my staff. And I respect that. I talk to the staff too, but it's always good that they have a landing stage, someone they can communicate with other than you, that if they
Yeah.
need, to talk out some issues or concerns. And we don't always have
Interesting.
the answers. So KP Soft,
So is this like an HR type of service
you, you know,
that
I think,
connects with your
yeah, I
team?
think everything can be a human resource component.
Yeah.
But they're dialed in to our industry, so
Mm,
they know the playbook. They understand
yeah.
booking appointments. What's a fitness consultation?
That's
How are
great.
you, handling leads? So they understand the guts of the business, and in most everything. How we handle human resources is honestly, you need to go to the problem. If you're having an issue with anybody, address it. It's best if you just address it directly, and let's resolve this. Every problem, I believe, has a solution. So that's how we lead.
I mean, I think we know the drama that can happen at a gym for many different
Yeah,
topics, right? Trainers dating trainers and not ending up right, and you know, clients,
yeah,
having issues, and all different types. And so, I think having a company like what you mentioned, KP Softworks, or somebody that's leading that that human connection with your team, like team onboarding. I don't know if anybody has a structured way to onboard your team.
yeah,
Every new team member needs to have a structured team. Offboarding needs to have a certain structure. Like this is so important. I think this is a resonates with a lot of people. Like I don't have that. I do it myself.
yeah,
I'm fine.
yeah,
Yes, but you shouldn't be doing it all on your own. Maybe having somebody that's helping you, like KP Softworks, or another person in there helping you. I think that's great.
Yeah,
I
healthy
love it.
topics. It's just
Yeah.
it even comes down to your member experience. How often do a 17-year-old girl wants to come in and join? Well, we're 18 years and older. However, my one hard conversation I have with the member, with the parent, is she's 17. I might have a 23-year-old, 25-year-old possibly, so we want to open that conversation up right off the bat and say, listen, you're here to get a workout in. This isn't a dating agency. And remember,
Yeah.
you're 17 and you're going to be surrounded by older individuals. So once again, it's just healthy relationships, healthy communication. We can't prevent a lot of things, but as long as we're setting a standard and they see what is acceptable and unacceptable, and understand things do happen. Can that happen?
Things
Can
do
a
happen.
client in a has it well, of course it's happened.
Yeah.
I met my husband where we worked too, 20 plus years ago. So relationships, you're spending hours there. But just on,
Yeah.
it's we just want to always make sure things are, things happen, and if they happen, they're handled appropriately. And that's at the end
How
of
to
the
handle
day.
them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Have a procedure, process to do that. I love it.
absolutely.
So things happen,
Yeah.
right? And you just mentioned that. And so we talk on the show, and you listen to the show. It's life's a roller coaster. So ups and downs, left and rights. There are certain things that keep us on track, and there's guardrails that keep us in the seatbelt. Life's just like that. And so for you, Jayne, what has been some of the guardrails or the tracks that help you stay focused and on track to get your goals?
It's been, I meditate. Meditation is a great tool that I've learned over the years to improve. And it's all about being patient in a very fast-paced world. And that's not easy.
Tell me a little bit about the meditation. Like, what's the practice of meditation that you guys that you
First,
subscribe to?
yeah, it's my first thing in the morning. It's honestly,
Nice.
it's a ritual. It's a gratitude. It's
Okay.
looking around. I wake up every morning and I am blessed. I am thankful for where I am, the roof over my head, the people around me. I have a 90-year-old father and an 89-year-old mother that, wow, how many people my age can say that, their parents are still alive today, and I'm blessed and grateful to have that. So yeah, that's just one of the many many blessings. So it
That's right.
starts with gratitude. And I think every business should follow their mission statement. It's how you stay on track. You need
Mm,
to refocus. What are you doing? Are you in business to make money? Are you in business to help people? Is it building the self-esteem of the world? And I
mm,
always, lean on and believe in what our franchise was set up for. So it's just
yeah.
keeping that laser focus, and work with good intentions. Every decision you make, you should always end it with this decision, did I make it with good intentions? And that's
I love it.
that's the secret recipe, I guess. I
Being authentic.
Yeah,
Yeah, being authentic. That's so true. And so, you know, the challenges that you might have in your business day to day,
yeah.
you know, how do you approach them? Like, how do you overcome? Like, can you share with us maybe one recently that you guys had running 4 gyms? And some people out there like saying, "Yeah, I got enough with one." Jayne, how do you do four?
Yeah,
Right? It's always
yeah.
something.
Well,
Yeah. So,
I, I you know okay, I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but I'll say it. We recently, our club manager passed away. She was killed in a
oof.
car accident here in this club,
Mm,
and wow. How do you prepare for something like this? This is a
that's
human
very true.
life. This is someone. You can set aside all judgment, and just look at, this is a human being who's affected, who is hopefully inspired in some way. And the best and only message I could really relay to so many people, remember, hundreds of people, was, I hope she inspired you in some way to make a change, make an improvement in your life. And that's really all
Mm,
I can say or have to say, because
yeah.
I am like you, like many people on this podcast. We have spiritual beliefs. It's, if you don't have and don't believe, I don't know how you've gotten through life. So
Yeah.
it's still in someone else's hands, and we just have to you know uh, grow from every experience. And that, I guess, would be the most recent one. So
Yeah. I mean, that's heartbreaking to hear, but it's so inspirational. And that you brought it to, hey, was she impactful for your life? And I think all of us at the end of our days,
yeah,
if we're not impactful, then what do we do it for? Right.
exactly.
I'm reminded in the Bible, it talks about tomorrow's not promised.
Right.
Right. And today, I have enough. And so it's so important to keep that mindset. There's a Stoic principle as well. It talks about memento mori, and memento mori is the Roman emperors. They would come back from battle, glorious, and they come back and they're going into waving at everybody, and they would hire somebody to come telling them memento mori, memento mori. And what that means is that you too will die.
uh,
This glorious moment,
yeah,
take it for what it is, but tomorrow we don't know. And so that's so important to remember when you're building a business, when you're connecting with other people, and just how impactful am I being? Am I being authentic to them? Am I being my true self? And sometimes, if your true self is not where you like it to be, well then, hey, self-awareness, let's make that better
exactly.
to make that impact for the world. So I love
Yeah.
it. Thank you for sharing,
That
Jayne.
was powerful what you said. Yes.
Awesome. Well, perspective, on, you know, the fitness world, you have it. You're in it. You're in the middle of it. And you see things that quite aren't right, right? And so I say sometimes, like, hey, I'm going to give you a magic wand, Jayne, and you're going to wave it, and you're going to say this needs to change. And so what would be something that would change in the fitness world that, hey, it's done? What would you do?
I would. This has been a big initiative that it's a mission. And if every employer, and remember, we all have essential employees now. We've now new label. They're all essential. Of course, they're essential. So what could an employer do to help offset preventative wellness
Hmm.
in their work environment? If
Mm,
they could somehow stipend and come up with a number for that employee, possibly their family members, just help us in this battle of, and one of your guests said it the other day, we have an obesity crisis rolling ahead of us. So how could we all help each other? And if an employer could help offset a gym membership cost, and I'm not saying, hey, there's lots of gyms out there, that to me would just be so helpful to many of us. So
yeah, the obesity. I was just talking about this the other day. And it's like, you know, uh, the average weight of the American woman, uh, and they're just talking about women, it's like 170 pounds. Well, 170 pounds for a woman is obese. I guess an average height, with the average
yep.
height, of course, right? And so it's like, that's crazy. And so, we go to other countries and they don't have the same problem we do.
No.
Like, why is this such a big problem? Is it because we're so comfortable and we're not out there? We're not treating our body rigorously the way we should. We should really, not mistreated, but like, let's go lift. Maybe you don't have weights, maybe you don't have a gym, right? But let's go pick up a big rock, a boulder, and let's move it from one place and let's take it to another place. Let's do things like farm. Let's go in the farm. Let's start
Yeah.
doing some of that farm things that we used to do back in the day. And so I think it's so important that we need to make sure that our body is not allowed to just go and wither, right, into this later years, right? And I think, like, tell us about your mission. Like you talked about earlier about the mission. What's one of your missions at the club, if
Sure. Well,
you can share?
for this month right now, we're doing a lot of educational components. In addition, we're coaching club. Anytime Fitness is all about not just the work, but we're all about recovery right now, rest and recovery. Our big
Mm.
topic in conversation as of late is just, how are you resting? Just chatting,
Oh,
floor polls with our members, how, what is your rest like? Are you familiar with our Theraguns? I'm a big believer in all these tools. All four of our clubs have Theraguns. And if you haven't heard that powerful story, my gosh, Dr. Jason, he invented a fantastic tool. A lot of copycats out there, but this Theragun has helped hugely with lactic acid buildup after those
right.
leg days. It's just a great recovery tool. And it's we often say, and people come in, well, I have one of those. It's like, yeah, you got a treadmill at home too that you're not using. So here, it's at the gym. Hey,
Yeah.
let's do a quick Theragun, workout here. So 3-4 minutes, it's great. So
Wow, you include that into your sessions. I
we
love
do.
it. I love it. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah,
I love it. I mean, that's getting the circulation is huge.
it is.
Like, and that's why we work out, to keep the circulation going,
Yeah.
cardiovascular system.
Yeah.
So I that's so
So
good.
it's one of those components. When we get it, you can download workouts. There's lots of information online, and I kudos to everyone that are a lot of effort being made. But there's still something about a gym atmosphere. You're gonna learn something. You're gonna meet someone. How many people have met their now best friends at a gym? It's a different culture and environment. I've met friends at taverns too, and restaurants, and I get it. But there's just something about a gym. It reminds me a lot of a church. It really does. It's just
Mm.
a place where you can really meet
It's
someone.
community, right? It could be community. Goal is a beautiful word to hear when you're scoring on the soccer field. This last World Cup was won by Argentina because of one important player. Yeah, you got it. It was the goalie. He secured the win for the team, and in the same way, ReviewBiz platform will catch negative reviews before they go online. In addition, it helps you score and promote fresh new reviews so you can crush the competition. So don't let those big box gyms take your clients. ReviewBiz will help you build your online presence and turn your own members into your best sales reps. Get your first 5 reviews for only $1. All you got to do is go to reviewbiz.io/try to get started. Some people will not leave a gym because of the people they've met there,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's interesting. Oh my gosh, I created this. This is kind of crazy. I got this like little Venn diagram here. In the middle it says gym growth, but in the one side you have marketing team, and then the other one is operations team, and it's good culture. Like the marketing team together with the operations team can create a good culture that will help you with retention, right? Like that's huge. Like the retention that we just talked about is like, yeah, they're not going to leave even though this shiny new object just showed up over
Yeah.
here. They're like, no, this is the place for me, and that's it, done. This is great.
Love it.
This is great.
Love it.
So good. So is there any particular stories of people in your life that have influenced you in your business personally? Um, you know, you decide which one you want to
I have
share.
a laundry list. A laundry.
Laundry list.
Oh
Oh
my
boy.
gosh, there's many. I would have to start with, the first two people I was introduced to, I guess, my mom and dad. And ironically, Andreas, I was adopted. I was adopted. So that
Wow.
always puts, people as, oh my goodness, but these people, I always say, they just, they wanted me. It
Oh.
wasn't, they didn't carry me. They carried me in their hearts. So I was
Mm.
gifted to have that opportunity, and they just, yeah, so
They chose you.
they've molded
They
me.
chose you.
Yeah, they chose, and anything good that's come of me is because of them. All the bad stuff, sorry, that's just genetic. No, I'm kidding, but they, so starting with them, and and then just, I've always paid close attention. There's a lot of influencers in the world, but I try to keep it, politically correct, and I look for accomplished people and not entitlement. There's a big difference. People that have put the years in, that have put the work in. It's why I have such great respect for Chuck Runyon and David Mortensen. These two guys, honestly, their hearts are bigger than any ego I have ever
Yeah.
experienced. These guys live and breathe their brand, and it's truth. It's truth. So
And these are the owners of Anytime Fitness.
they are. These
Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I hear great things about them. Hopefully, I get to meet them one day or get them on the podcast or something.
Absolutely,
But
just
yeah, that's
great guys. Great guys.
I hear they're really
Yeah,
good guys. And being at a level that's like beyond, right? It's like
truly.
what they're running their operation. They have more than just Anytime Fitness. They have
Yeah,
many
the bar
businesses. And so
method. They have Wax the City.
yeah,
Base Camp.
right,
A lot of other, and
right,
everything it runs around building the self esteem of the world. That's their mission.
right.
I love it.
I love it.
Andy Gunlock is another multi-club owner. He is just, I reference him, the Godfather. He just knows operations. He's so
Oh,
good.
that's awesome.
He would be great for
Wow.
your podcast. Jeff
Yeah.
Lamar, you've met Jeff, and
Yeah.
Kyle. They're fantastic.
Oh, Kyle,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, both of them, both Kyle and Jeff have been on the podcast,
yeah,
and so you listened to
yeah.
their episode, and
Another name,
so
I
yeah, no,
guess,
so
Keith
good.
Boy. He was the multi-club owner that I bought these clubs from, and
Okay,
Keith
yeah, that
comes,
makes
yeah,
sense.
he comes from, a different background. He, precision ice blasting. He's in a manufacturing world, and it's just a whole different mentality, but a brilliant businessman. And I'm grateful to him because he's given my husband and I this opportunity. So I've always,
Nice.
just grateful to people that, and I follow people, I do, Kevin O'Leary. I think he's,
Ah,
Mr. Wonderful. I don't know.
yeah,
You know, I, I would love to be on Shark Tank.
yeah,
He
right.
would.
And you talk about influencers, and especially in the public media, you know, the influencers in public media, we got to be very weary of who they are. Are they influencers or manipulators?
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And there's one characteristic that makes them different, and it's their motive.
Yeah.
If their motive is to help the other person, then they're an influencer. If it's to help themselves, it is manipulator.
Thank.
And so be weary, and just be careful out there, right?
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. That was a good public service announcement.
Right.
I needed that. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, for sure. You could just sniff it out. You could really just sniff it out. Now, we got to a place where you're growing your gyms. Are you looking to grow more? Are you looking to have more locations?
as long as my husband's not listening right now, absolutely.
Yes. I love it.
Yes.
No, but that's a good point. If the spouse is not on
Yeah.
board, it makes the decision a little more
Yeah. No.
difficult.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
Yeah,
getting
he's a
getting the
supporter.
belief system.
I just and here's the thing. It's not even about, geez, how many feathers can you? It's not about that. It's I've identified communities where I believe an Anytime Fitness in this community would just be so helpful to help people live a healthier lifestyle. So if
Yeah.
that's the
And you
question,
know what?
yes.
And and there's a lot of like 2020 happened. You mentioned it. And
Yes.
so there's clubs out there that are not operating the same and they just need a better system.
Right.
And so there's opportunity out there to actually take over clubs with no money down,
Right.
you know? And either you might be in a position where, hey, I want to take over those clubs, or you might be in a position, hey, listen, I need to let go of this club and pursue this other thing.
Right.
And so finding the right, it reminds me of the old I buy ugly houses
Yeah.
thing, right? So you can say I buy, ugly gyms, and so
Yeah.
boom, and you go and you take over, and next thing you know, it's fruitful and it's multiplying. So yeah, that's that's makes sense. It makes sense that if it makes sense,
Exactly.
it makes sense that if it makes sense,
I agree. I agree.
right? And I think your husband will probably support you for sure. Like, hey, yeah, you know what? Let's
Let's
go.
do it.
Um, Now, there's things that might have inhibited growth in your progress as of right now, or things that might help you move faster. What would have been some things that you could share with us that is either needs to be eliminated sooner or need to be added on sooner to experience that growth? We love to hear.
You know what? I'm going to give a shout out to you. I think Google reviews. I did
Oh,
not
wow.
understand and realize today how important those are, and responding to them, how to respond, why would I respond. I'm in a generation that I've got to evolve into this. So I would have to give a shout out to Review Biz for helping me better understand how important Google reviews truly are. And it's communicating with the world around us, and just building a better reputation. And
Mm,
okay, someone could make a comment, it's like, hey, wait a minute, that isn't, that's not true. But how do I state that, hey, listen, can I have a platform to maybe explain why this experience was the way it was. And at the end of the day, it is, pulling all the personal information out of it. What experience do you want people to know that you provide? So, and that's really what we want. So,
yeah, I think Kyle said it. He was on the show. He's like, before they walked in the doors for the tour, the person said, I know this is the place for me. I just need to know which plan I need to pick. Like I read all your reviews. I'm good to go. Like the influence happens. It's a real thing. It's Robert Cialdini talks about it, and it's like people read the reviews, and it's an influence point. If you're not taking advantage of it, then and you can't really control it. Like, it's like, hey, listen, Andres, I want 20 reviews. And I think that's great, fantastic. But, how many new members are you getting? You're only getting 10 new members? How do you want 20? You want me to create reviews for you? Like, and you can't get 100% of everybody coming in your door to leave a review, but you can do things to help mitigate it and not persuade them, influence them, and it's just a factor. We talked about influencing and manipulating, and it's like, okay, listen, I just want to understand how we can be better, because feedback is such a gift,
amen.
and right. And
It is.
so it's like the faster you get feedback, the faster you can build and grow your business.
Right.
And then if everybody sees all the good stuff that you got going on, fantastic. Love it. Let us be the right place for you. And that's the thing. Like, hey, I want to serve the right people. Like, hey, listen, if I say I want to become a power lifter, bodybuilder, and like Anytime Fitness might not be the right place for me.
Yeah.
And I want to know that.
Yeah.
I want to know that. Right. But there's certain
Yeah.
mobility things that I want to make sure that I do. Like, hey, Anytime Fitness, fantastic. They have a great program. The classes they have make sense. The PT makes sense. It's great. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, you got to. I love it. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
I
it,
appreciate
it
that.
really
By the
is.
way,
It's
you weren't paid for that
no, I
advertisement, so
really wasn't, and it was just it's not in our it's not on our dashboard. It's not in our business model. it's, owners have a lot of layers that we have to be paying attention to. And this is one that, it needs to be a must on your list. You've got to pay attention to those. So,
Yeah, because everybody else is, all the other competitors
they
are, and if they're
are.
not, they're losing out. Yeah,
So
yeah, so true.
thank you.
Well, cool. I mean, all this other stuff that on the outside, and we're at the Fast Five section. So
Uh,
I do ask,
yeah.
you shared already a couple of influential people. And is there anybody that we missed that you want to mention on the influential list?
I think, my immediate family is, my husband, I have two
Yeah.
children.
Oh, yeah.
I have a daughter and a son, and they're my reason, really. You
Yeah.
got to keep your circle small. I love my friends. I love my family,
Yeah.
but you still have to keep your circle small, and who and why you're doing this for. So,
Yeah.
your legacy should really be within your family, and it's, have you been a good wife? Have you been a good mother? Daughter? All those hats that we have to wear, and employer. I look at my staff, like I shared with you, they're my kids, they're my family. um, I hold them very true and tight to our circle, and keep them as involved in all of our decisions that we make. So, and work with good intentions. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So good. It all works
it
together. It all works
does,
together.
it
So
does.
good. Now, the other question is, what's one thing you wish you had known when you began your business?
Review biz.
Ah, so good.
Google, how important
Is
those
there anything?
Google reviews are. And truly, because you're all about lead generation and growing your business. How are you handling your cancellations? How are you handling? And really, 2020 brought the light right to that, because wait a minute, you're closing your gyms. Are you still going to be taking those dues out? And that was a tough decision to make, and not everyone made the right decision. I felt the right decision was, we did not have our members pay for their memberships during that shutdown.
Mm,
So
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like being empathetic to what's going on, right?
Yes.
You're going through a financial hardship. Let us know right now.
Right.
Like this is the time to let us know, and maybe everybody does say yeah, yeah. No, some people thrived in 2020. Some people didn't, and so
Right.
you can't just say blanket no. So did you really, like, all your members no charge, or just like you reached out
No,
to
all of
them
them.
and
We
find out?
shut our ABCs right
Wow,
down. We shut them right down. That was
wow,
it. That was
interesting.
a that would it, they were all like, geez, here's the rope. I don't know what to say.
Right.
Done.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so
Oh my
it
goodness.
was,
Wow.
yeah, it was one of those. But it goes back to, when you're making decisions, you have to be doing these with good intentions. So,
Yeah.
you know referencing your question, you're thrown these challenges, these decisions, hourly, daily, every minute. And you have to make sure you're making the right ones,
Yeah.
and think with uh, good intentions. So,
So good. The next question is, what's a blog, a book, a podcast, a media that you recently consumed that has positively impacted you?
of course, what all the guests you have had on your show, I've been truly investing time in listening to your podcast. But I do have to say,
Yeah.
Andy Frisella,
Okay.
I think he is, wow, what a 75 hard. And he's just, his mental
Mm.
toughness. I've read his book.
Oh,
I have his book right here, in fact.
oh, cool. Share it with us.
Yeah.
Show it to us. Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. You have that.
Oh,
I
well,
love it.
it's right on my desk.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
he's, honestly, and it's one of those things, you can't necessarily loan it, because it's got so many bookmarks, highlights.
Yeah.
Just, another human who I consider, he has accomplished. He is not an entitled human being. He has
Right.
accomplished so much, and I just hats off. I would
Nice.
I would give anything for him to come work out in one of our clubs.
Right?
But
And just that'd be
yeah,
great.
that would be.
Hopefully that
Oh
happens.
my
Hopefully that
gosh,
happens. That'd be so cool.
we I don't even know what we would do, but if he ever, we wouldn't charge him.
Fanfare. Yeah. Fanfare.
That'd
All
be
good.
awesome.
That's great. Well, what's a favorite online tool that you like to share with us?
I like. It's called Yucca.
Okay.
Yuka. It's got a little carrot. It's an
Okay.
app, and it's a great tool that you can take to the grocery store. What you think is healthy, it may shock you.
Wow.
And it's a great tool. Just it help clean your nutrition up. Of course, all of us, we use a Google. We have a lot of favorite tools, but
Yeah. Right.
logging your meals, logging your food is something. It's your checkbook. It really is. And there's a
It is.
lot
Yeah.
of tools out there, but that Yucca app, Yuka, I got to give a shout
Mm,
out to that one. It's
love
an
it.
easy
I
one.
haven't heard that
You
one.
can share that with your members, your clients, and you can really help people learn what real good nutrition means. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I love that. So good. Last fast five question is what's one habit or practice that you know would benefit anybody on this podcast listening?
Uh, don't listen to reply, listen to understand.
I haven't heard it put that way before. I
I
love
know
it.
you've heard it, but so
Yeah. No, I love it. Don't listen to reply.
listen to
Listen to
understand.
understand. That's a big perspective change there. I like it. I like it. That's great. Well, thank you, Jayne. One last question.
Yes.
This is the one,
Okay.
right? And so I have you heard it before, and now you get to experience it. We're gonna go in the time machine, and we're gonna go back in time to visit Jayne, little Jayne, at 16 years old. 16-year-old Jayne, and I'm gonna let you talk to her and give her a piece of advice. What would be that piece of advice that you would share with Jayne?
Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is an opportunity to learn. Living
Mm,
your life recklessly isn't what I'm getting at, but just don't be afraid to fail. And
yeah,
and fear is a muscle, and you need to exercise that fear factor every day. So
yeah.
that's ultimately, you know, one piece of advice I would give myself.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think about kids, nowadays, and they have certain goals and they have some things, and hopefully they do, right? And so if they don't get it, like, oh, I didn't get into law school. Oh no, right? It's like, well, try a different law school. Like
yeah,
maybe that's not the right one for you, right? Or try again, and if you know, try applying again. All this stuff. Like, don't one rejection does not mean no. It just means no right
yeah,
now. And I love that because that's so important for the young generation to listen to. Like, it's okay
it's okay to.
if you didn't accomplish it at the time that you thought that you should have accomplished this thing. It's okay. There's still time for you. I
Think
love
think
it.
of a 9-year-old today, and in the
Right.
society we've raised them, and we put a lot of fear in people, and not there's a difference between, hey, let's follow these rules versus just fear, and it's been an interesting observation. Kudos to that
Yeah.
table of people that sat around there and said, I'm going to prove how ridiculous people think, and it started with the toilet paper shortage. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, I don't know. We're
That was crazy. That was
time
crazy.
time tells the truth, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So wild.
It's all good.
So good. Jayne, this was great. Thank you so much for jumping on here, taking the time to
Ah,
share with me and the audience a little bit about wow what Jayne did to be successful with her 4 clubs, and I really appreciate it.
Well, I've got a long way to go. There's so much more to learn. I'm excited about it, and I can't thank you enough. It's a great opportunity, Andreas. You have a great show. I hope this can help others. Just um, you know, help somebody today. Be kind.
Awesome.
It's actually it costs us nothing. So,
I love it.
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Man, that was such a fun episode with Jayne. I really enjoyed what Jayne said about fostering a positive environment, the significance of empathetic leadership, and her dedication to continuous learning and personal growth in the fitness industry. By the way, what was your favorite takeaway from the episode? I want you to connect and share a message with me on Instagram at the profile at Meetesco, and I would love to hear your thoughts. That's my personal profile, by the way. But I want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode right now. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the show on the platform you're currently listening on. And remember to leave us a rating and review because it helps us improve the show for you guys. Also, it would mean the world to us if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the place where you'll get this amazing content plus much more. As always, I want to thank you so much for your encouragement, and I truly appreciate you listening to the podcast and helping us improve with your comments. And I'll be seeing you next time in the Growth Zone.